So welcome to the Wiggin Sessions. This is actually episode 41. And I have with me John Englander, who is a very special guest, and I'm excited about this conversation because he has a unique approach to something that we talk about from time to time, climate change and its impact on political environment and that kind of thing. But John takes a very unique perspective, which I happen to enjoy. And I've read, I actually haven't read the new book. I'm going to show the new book right here. Oops, it's upside down.
No.
Oh, it was. Oh, there we go. See how informal this is? Moving to Higher Ground, which is, we'll talk about the book in a second because you said this one's better than the first one. So we'll talk about that in a second. But I do want to introduce you. You have, we actually met in Nicaragua, which is just kind of random. But you're also a reserve member, and most of the people watching this are reserve members. And
Yes.
we'll identify with your association with Agora Financial and the history that we have. So welcome, John. And I really want to dig into some of the experience that you have, because I think your perspective on climate change and the economic impact that is actually happening rather than the political impact it's been enlightening for me. So first of all, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you. What I want to start with the fact that you're an oceanographer and an economist, which is kind of, to me, that's a rare perspective. But you also have, I think I have it in here, 5,000 hours as a scuba diver.
5,000 dives.
Do
Yeah.
people actually keep track of that stuff?
It's an approximation.
Yeah, but you're also a pilot.
Not active, but I had I used to live in the Bahamas, as you may remember, for actually 25 years.
You remember? Yeah.
I flew back and forth myself, so I have about 3,200 hours as a pilot. I wouldn't pilot a plane today. I'm not current, but yes.
But you have a perspective that's a little bit above the sea, a little bit below the sea.
Yes, very much.
And we'll get into the book for a second, but you've been leading these tours. I'm going to hold this up too. This is a flyer you sent me, which I think is really interesting. And we're talking about going on the trip too. But you're looking at the actual glaciers that are in Greenland and trying to explain the actual science behind million-year-old glaciers that are receding and what that means in terms of, like, when the ice melts, water goes up, and what does that mean for the economy and for coastal communities? That's your gig, right?
Exactly. I've been doing that for a decade, and it's my gig, as you say. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm interested in a lot of things because it's a hot button issue politically, but it's also one of those things where if you just take a step back and look at the science of it, literally we could do an experiment here. I should have planned it, but if we show what it looks like when ice melts in a glass, the water rises. It's not any more complicated than that, correct?
No, actually, Addison, with due respect, that's actually not true, but everybody believes what you...
Well, see, here we go.
Everybody believes what you just said. But if you take a glass, and but people can visualize this or do it at home, put some ice cubes, not so many that they touch the bottom, so they're floating, and mark the level of liquid and let the ice melt. And the ice cubes are 10% above the surface, just like an iceberg. And for a very peculiar but simple reason of physics, as that ice melts, it condenses and takes up less space. So the level of liquid does not rise. And that's why, counter to public opinion, melting icebergs have no effect on sea level, nor do the ice shelves that they break off of. It's when you drop a new ice cube in the glass that it raises the water level. So that's like an iceberg newly breaking off or calving from a glacier on the edge of Antarctica or Greenland. That would add to sea level. rise, just like in the glass, and pouring more water in, of course, raises the level. That's like melt water from land. So that basic fact is one of the underlying points of confusion about sea level rise. It's not the melting floating ice like the ice cube in the glass. It's when we add new ice to the sea or melt water.